is leadership. And I want to share with you my understanding of leadership. Because if we talk about leadership and courage, we could all be assuming different things. So I'd like us all to be on the same page. Leadership, what is leadership? We all love the word leadership. If this presentation were called authority and courage, I don't think anybody would show up. But we love the word leadership, but really what is it? Leadership is about taking people to new places. Leadership is about taking people to new places. Leadership is about facilitating change. That's what leadership is. If you're not going anywhere, you don't need leadership. You just need authority. You just need someone with a cap and a few rules telling you what you can and can't do. And that's it. So leadership is about facilitating change. Now, the goal of leadership is to ensure that the change that you're leading people to is good change, the right change. It's not just any change. And having been in organizational life many, many years, as I'm sure some of you here, it sometimes seems as if the organization is caught up in change for change's sake. Oh, let's do this. Let's have a new car park. Let's change this policy. Let's have a new procedure. Oh, we need a person with a new title, and we do that. So the critical goal of leadership is to ensure that the change that you're helping people to adapt to is the right change. Now, what is, and I have to be very hesitant, I don't like the word right, because that then sounds like right or wrong. Let's say the appropriate change. What is the appropriate change? And the appropriate change is always orienting or aligning to new realities. New realities. Not fantasy, not what the CEO dreamed up in the shower, or what she and her sycophant cackling hyena friends decided was a good idea. Reality. So the goal of leadership is to keep orienting people to changing reality. Because reality is changing all the time, is it not? Every day you face new realities. For example, today you're here and you're having to adapt to a whole new reality. As a consequence of being here, you might change, you might not change, you might change, reorient yourself. That's your choice. But this is a new reality. So the first point that I'd like to make is that the goal of leadership is to orient people to new realities when they're new. Not yesterday's reality, today's reality. And you see, we're not very good at that. Because reality is often unpalatable. And reality asks us to be different. And so sometimes we think, well, I don't really deal with that now. I'll put it off. Or it's got nothing to do with me. Well, it always has something to do with you. And the sooner you can address today's changing reality, the better. This is why we will see why leadership is difficult, because people resist changing to new realities. They would much rather change to a fantasy reality, right? Oh, thank God that's solved. Thank God we appointed that person. They'll take care of it. Well, that's a load of Nobody's going to take advantage of you. We'll get to that. So the goal of leadership, the tasks. What are the tasks of leadership? Given that the goal of leadership is about orienting to changing reality, the tasks of leadership mean, number one, being attentive to changing reality. Being very attentive to changing reality. You need to be somebody who's awake and who's aware and who's always asking questions. What's going on? What's changing here? What's different? Now, reality does not arrive in a nice package. You don't get a little letter through the mailbox saying, new reality's arrived, of course, unless it's the tax man. And then you knew secretly that you were in trouble. Anyway. So reality, changing reality, often comes, it comes in many different guises. It's something you overhear. It's something you notice. It's something you feel in your gut. You say, there's something not right here. It's something you maybe read. It's, you suddenly notice that department, they're doing so well, and they're not doing so well. Something's changed. Task of leadership is to be attentive to changing reality. Next task of leadership is to test out that reality. So I suddenly pick something up and I say, you know what, I'm noticing something's different. Or did you see that these 3 people are always absent? Or everybody's leaving at 4 o'clock in the afternoon? Or you're noticing a change. You need to test it out because other people need to. Remember, we only have a small slice of reality. So we need to test out and say, are you noticing this? Are you? So that's the second task of reality, of leadership, pardon me. The third task is to help frame that reality. Frame that reality. In other words, how would you describe it? What does it really mean? Now, all the time, we need to bear in mind that there is going to be resistance. Whether we notice it or whether we don't notice it, or whether people are honest or dishonest, people do not like change. And so we need to frame that reality and invite other people to help us frame that reality. As soon as it becomes my reality, it's a problem. Because Annabelle decided we were losing money. Annabelle decided we should outsource. Annabelle decided our business model isn't working. Annabelle decided we should have a divorce. No, anyway. Annabelle, whatever. You do not want to be the person who single-handedly and alone defines the changes required. Do people understand? Because as soon as you become the issue, you have lost your potency. So you need to encourage and invite other people to see what is going on here. And if somebody says, there's nothing going on here, well then you better dig a big hole and jump into it. Because there's always something going on. Strategies. Your strategy for leadership is, as part of your framing, is to invite other people to participate. You cannot do it alone. And as much as you'd like to do it alone, and even worse, your sycophant friends are going to encourage you. Wow, isn't that marvelous? Aren't you terrific? And they are going to set you up to be alone. And while you're doing the supposed popular thing, they will be with you, and as soon as there's someone with a little bit better rhetoric than yours, or better BS story, you are out. So, strategies for leadership have always got to be inviting and collaborating, but holding people's feet to the fire about the reality. And that's not easy. And that is where you're going to meet a lot of resistance. And as you see, that's where enormous courage comes in. Now, last, and I'm giving you a 10-week leadership class in 45 minutes, but I saw you all had high IQs on your application. We can do this. The measure, and I obviously I'm not dropping into all the pieces here, but I can see you're getting it. Leadership effectiveness is not necessarily, I mean it might help with a change in share price, it is not necessarily that all of a sudden you're profitable, it is not necessarily that all of a sudden things are looking good. Leadership effectiveness is measured by your ability or the ability to help people become more adaptable. That is the measure. In other words, as a consequence of your being part of this department, and by the way, you do not have to be in charge of a big department. You can do it with 3 people. You do not have to have big budgets. And you know what? The best place to start is even in your own families. Deal with reality today. So, effectiveness is about adaptability. Are you helping other people become more resourceful? Able to roll with the punches of change more easily? That is leadership. And you know what? It's very, very difficult because we're inclined to measure leadership if you're on the stock market every quarter because somebody says, oh, the share price is up and down. And in many organizations, by the budget, did you meet the budget? Or somebody's going to count how many new customers you made or whatever. And that's possibly an indicator, but the real measure of leadership is, are people more resourceful? Are they living out more of their capacity? So leadership is not as glamorous in some ways as, its contribution to society is much huger, much more impactful than whether the share price went up or down, because you're building a sustainable life. How many of you have children? Wow. What is the greatest gift you can give your child? I know they've got 3 iPods, iPads, whatever, they've got 22 televisions in every corner of the room. They go to dancing and baseball and horseback riding, whatever. The greatest gift you can give them is to make them adaptable and resourceful. Isn't that true? Isn't that the greatest gift? And that is personal leadership. All leadership starts with us. Are we adaptive and resourceful? So I just wanted to get on the table that this is the way I run a leadership. And I also want to get on the table is that I don't think some people are leaders and the others are followers. Everybody has an ability to participate in leadership because we all have an eye on reality. And we can all contribute to reality. And I will give you some answers afterwards. Okay, thanks, Dawn, if you wouldn't mind. Okay, so let's go to critical leadership skills. Okay, we can maybe just the screen is still open up. All right. This is an automated presentation. I don't normally use PowerPoint because I'm a PowerPoint, but somebody said, they might like to look at some things. And I thought this might be, no, I'm being facetious. I thought this might be helpful for some of you who want notes, but don't get too carried away because I'm planning on putting this on the Newly website, so you'll be able to download the slides. Okay, the very first thing that I want to mention that's so important in leadership is the ability to see the big picture. The ability to see the big picture. Now, what do I mean by seeing the big picture? I mean the ability to step back, and I'm calling it systems thinking, and there is a whole 5-week course on systems thinking. That it's an ability to look at whatever you're looking at, be it your family, be it your department, be it your company, be it the Boy Scout group, whatever it is, and to look at the system and look at it with a different eye. In fact, in my Women's Leadership Intensive, I ask people to draw the system. Draw your system. What does it look like? Is it a butterfly? No. Is it an elephant? Is it, what does your system look like? Is it a box? Look at your system and ask yourself, where is the energy and vitality of this system? Where is it? Where are the functions that actually reflect energy and vitality? Where is their health? Now, with your organizational hat on, you'll probably say, where's their creativity? Where's the innovation coming? Where are the new ideas coming? Or some people might say, where are the new customers coming or something? But what you want to do is you want to step back and imagine you're standing on a mountain and you're looking at the valley below. Now, when you stand on that mountain and you look at the valley below, you'll see different things, right? You'll see trees, and you'll see rocks, and you'll see rivers, and you'll see mud, and you'll see marsh, right? And you'll see the shadow fall. And then if you go to another side of the valley, you'll get a different picture. The shadow will fall differently, and the water will run differently. So as a metaphor, what you need to be able to do is look at your system and say, in my department, in my family, wherever it is, where is their energy? Where is their vitality? Where is their health? Where is their quote-unquote sickness? Where is their stability? Where is their chaos? Where is their color? Where is their dullness? And you want to realize that every system is always going to have all of those. You're never going to have a system that has all light. You're never going to have a system that's all healthy. You're always going to have some relatively incompetent people. Right? You're always going to have some people that perform differently. Systems will always have that. But what you want to know is you want to get a general sense of your system. And you want to get a feeling for, is the healthy part allowed to be healthy? And is the sick or ailing or struggling part, is there anything we can do? So, and there's always music. The idea is you need to be able to look at your system without always looking at people. Because what's important in leadership is that not only do I need to speak to you and you and you and you about how you can be more effective or you can behave differently or whatever, I need to also see what is the dynamic of the system. Why is that going on like that? Why is that going on like that? Because sometimes by looking at the whole, I would have a much clearer understanding rather than just the part. Now this is a really big topic, but I just really want to say, taking a big picture is really important for leadership. Next thing, to exercise leadership, to help people's systems change, it is absolutely critical that you are aware of yourself. How good are you? What are your issues? What trips you up? Where is your anxiety? Where are your strengths? Where are your limitations? And I want to say to you this, as someone who does executive coaching, and as I said, all these books and reading, whatever, the biggest single problem with getting ahead in your career is your own lack of or limited self-awareness and self-management. You can go to all the classes, you can tweet and social media, do whatever you want to do. You can do all the technology. You can do all the systems. At the end of the day, your limitation is defined by you. The way you behave, the way you manage your feelings, the way you manage your disposition, the way you manage your anxiety. Big. So, leadership skills, self-awareness, and self-management are critical. Because you are not going to take anybody anywhere new if you can't take yourself there authentically and with honesty and courage first. Now, I have a separate slide on maturity, so I'm going to come back to that in a minute. And I have a separate slide also on self-differentiation, which is really important. And what I really want to highlight, so the next three we're going to drill down into, is the real importance of courage. Courage. To really be effective, you need enormous courage. So, Dawn, if I could ask you the next one, okay? Let's get the little. Okay. Bearing in mind that the critical task of leadership is to facilitate change, and that people resist change, and that people will rather kill you than change. Anybody being killed? And what's really so sad about it is that every time we're killed, and it hurts, and you kind of, sometimes we back off a little bit and say, I'm not going to do that again, I'm not going to stick my head out again, right? And that's a great loss. So the very first thing that I want to mention here under maturity, this is maturity of self, is we need to be in touch with our own reactivity. What is it that triggers us? What makes us react? We don't like tall people, we don't like thin people, we don't like people who are late, they irritate us. People who speak in a certain voice. Little things, and I'm going to explain to you a little bit more how much of this starts in our families. We learn reactivity in our families. Several of you have probably heard me talk about my mother, because she was a very, very, very everything person. But she used to make me very, very reactive because she was very, very, very. And so if you see people that reminds you of your father, your mother, your sister, your brother, your lazy brother, your sister who's always prancing around or whatever, we react. We need to exercise leadership, we need to know our own reactivity points. Because we are going to attract everybody else's reactivity when we ask them to do something different. So if we don't manage our own, we've got sparks and fire. Very difficult. This is courage. How to remain apart, but in connection. And I'm not just talking about having lunch together. I'm talking about how to actually hold yourself apart. Take a step back. Not always say, I agree with you, or, yeah, we should do this or something. How to act with a certain amount of reserve. How to hold on to yourself with a little bit of distance. And I'm generalizing. As women, we're not good at that. Because we always want to join. We want to fuse. We want to be part of. And what makes it more difficult is everybody wants us to. So if we go like this, they're pouring us in. What's wrong with you today? Are you okay? Are you not feeling well? Oh, isn't that right? As soon as we're a little bit different, you didn't speak up at the meeting. Was there something going on? Do you want to tell me? No, leave me alone. Apart, but in connection. So I need to be able to stand back and be myself, and yet still be in relationship. That takes art, doesn't it? Because I've got to deal with your reactivity. You'll say, well, she's changed, something's happened to her. She's not the person I used to know. Being the best one can be. Maturity. How to stop in the middle of whatever it is, the crazy meetings, fighting, the change initiatives, the blaming, the whatever it is. And ask yourself, how in this situation can I remain the very best I can? Whoa. So that's also what requires a little bit of distance. Now, when systems are in anxiety, which all systems are in anxiety by virtue of being a system, because all systems are wondering will we stay alive. And each one of us is in anxiety because we're all wondering, are we going to stay alive? But all systems are in anxiety, but what increases anxiety is changing reality. If there were an anxiety index, I wonder what the index would have looked like the Tuesday after the Patriots. Can you just imagine the anxiety across not only Boston, but even, I got phone calls from the West Coast. Changing realities. Syria, I don't know, outsourcing. We're now going to go trade war with China. What does that mean to some of your suppliers? I don't know. Heighten anxiety. Whenever there's anxiety, people, have you ever watched cows in the field? And there's suddenly a noise or something. They all herd together. They get together. That's us. We get together and we try to bond. We try to find a place that we can all agree on. Why? Because we're looking for safety. And that's very difficult in exercising leadership because the herd can go against you. Even though it won't be anything principled necessarily, it won't be anything rational. It'll be pure anxiety. So you need to be able to understand that. Of course, anxiety brings conflict, many things, and we have somebody who can help you a lot with conflict in one of the sessions. And here is another thing that we, and I'm generalizing, women do. Overfunction. Can't give that to her. Give that to me. I will do it. Can't waste time. Right? They never do it enough. I got to do it. Right? function, guess what? Because the system is always looking for balance, we encourage blatantly underfunction. So you're gaining absolutely nothing, except you can buy a piece of wood, nail one piece like this, and stand there and call yourself a martyr. Overfunctioning is very dysfunctional and does not help. And does not help leadership. But of course, we tell ourselves, if I don't do it, nobody will do it. Well, then nobody will do it. Oh, but they'll blame me. You sure? But how? Courage. And they'll only blame you because they know that you are a scaredy cat. And that actually you want to be blamed. You can't wait to be blamed. You feel better being blamed. Why? Because then you can enjoy being on the cross. And then it gives you a great excuse to going back to what you like doing, which is overfunctioning. Because then you feel wonderful, you feel useful. You feel very competent. But actually you're not helping anyone. Okay. Anxiety. Managing anxiety. Really important for leadership. Now, I'm not saying courage after every second one of these, but you'll see, of course, all of this takes a lot of courage. Managing our own anxiety. I will not be effective in moving you to new places if I cannot manage my own anxiety. Again, not easy to do. And the first thing is, of course, that I've got to own my anxiety. I've got to give my anxiety some time. I've got to go and sit somewhere, and I've got to write down on a piece of paper or something and say, I'm anxious because of this, something. Look at it and say, nah, I'm really anxious. I'm really anxious. I own it. It's mine. And it's okay to be anxious. It's fine to be anxious. It's no wrong to be anxious. You don't have to be ashamed about being anxious. It's human to be anxious. But you see, it's when we go into this pretend, or we suppress, or we push it away, that's when our anxiety is exceedingly dangerous, because it leaks out. And you see, we think nobody can see that we're anxious. So far better own it, hold on to it, and then take time out. If you're too anxious, just take time out. Thanks, Dawn. Okay, self-differentiation. We've talked about reactivity. Okay, here's an important. If you want to become better at really getting to the root of where your anxiety and your reactivity comes from, go back to your family dynamics. Now, some of you, like myself, I have no family anymore. So you can't really go and rework some of it, but you can remember it. But for those of you who have an opportunity, revisit your family dynamics. What goes on in your family? What happens at that dinner table, or that breakfast table, or how do you react to your siblings? How do you react to your parents? Research shows that that is the huge basis of unresolved behaviors that we carry our entire life. And often our kids pick it up from us. Mom hates her mom, so grandma revisit your own family dynamics. And it's very interesting. There are some wonderful books written about this too, is that it's not just the, are you an only child? Are there 4 of you? Or are there 3 boys and a girl? Are there 3 girls and a boy? All of that makes a huge difference because the system plays a different way depending on that mix. And the other very interesting thing that research shows is it makes a big difference. Now, some of you would say, I know that, whether you're the first or the second or the third or the fourth or the fifth. Plays itself out. And the only way to really kind of shrug off any chains is to revisit that. To actually try to think about how your behavior in your family shapes some of your behavior today. Because if you don't, it stays with you. So, importance of the quality of our own presence. Back to the self-awareness. I'm going to say the sentence. The quality of an intervention depends on the inner state of the intervener. The quality of an intervention depends on the inner state of the intervener. In other words, if I am going to help around change, if I am going to help in a conflict situation, if I am going to help move something along, if I am going to heal somebody, the quality of my inner state has a direct impact on the quality of the outcome. Think about that. So it's back to, you can have 5 different situations, 5 different people say the exact same thing, but one person says it and there is a different energy. There is a different response. So how you want to behave and how you want to react and how you want to develop your own personal leadership is about your own inner quality. And that means time. That means work. And we've said that, I won't dwell on that. It's the own emotional reset. Okay, this one is exploit imagination and risks. All right. That's somewhat, I don't need to dwell on that. Of course, we want to encourage people to be imaginative, and people don't want to take risks when they're anxious. But here is another issue that we all struggle with. Is when there is a quote-unquote problem or a new reality, there is enormous pressure to solve it quickly. I want an answer. Find the data. We got to fix it now. Dangerous. Very dangerous. Because in our quest for certainty, of course, we close down the options, we close down the limits, we take the life out of whatever the problem is, and we quickly go into the quick fix. And of course, what's very difficult is everyone, generalization, is going to encourage that. Haven't you got an answer yet? It's the 24th. We have to have an answer by the 25th. Let's get certainty as quickly as possible. And then we will pick on any stupid, imbecilic person or idea where we think there's the slightest possibility of giving some slither of fallacious certainty. Thank God. To that, face oneself, know one's own fears. And here is the last one I want to say under self-deprecation. And this is, again, a longer discussion, but I just want to encourage you, and I'm encouraged, so I know you do this. Find out what values and principles drive your decisions. What values and principles drive your decisions? Can you find, and as you grow and mature, can you find some principles that define you? Some principles that anchor you, and people don't have to agree with those principles. You have to find that they resonate and they really sit with you. But can you become someone who lives their life guided by principles? In our society, we live a very it depends society. Oh, will you tell the truth? Well, it depends. On what? Well, that depends too. Everything depends. Can you find a place where you have no depends? Can you be known as someone who, like a very well-known man once said, "Here I stand and can do nothing." Because that in itself is the issue. That in itself will help ground, root you. That in itself will give you courage. That in itself will give you the respect and the little bit of distance that you will need in order to be effective. And that in itself will make you a magnet, because there's so few of us that can actually stand up, and maybe I should speak for myself, that struggles not to say it depends. All right, these we can fly through because we know them. Concern about others' opinions. Remember, everybody's going to have an opinion about you. Oh, she's done this. Annabelle's come up with an idea. That's not my idea. This is what we need to do. I need to know other people's opinions. I can't be blindsided by other people's opinions, but I cannot subject my principles to overly concern about opinions. This illusion of togetherness, we're all in this together. Well, yes, we are, give or take, but we all come at it very differently. So do not fall into the trap of saying, oh, everybody's in this, or everybody's together on this. No, they're not. And that's a very dangerous place to be, to believe that we're all in it together. Another danger is having all the answers. We love to have all the answers. We love to have all the answers. It makes us feel so good and so powerful. And particularly us, us women. Where are the pencils? Oh, where's the toilet paper? Oh, we have all the answers. We love it. Not a good place to be. You want to be the one asking the questions, not having the answers. I've mentioned the quick fix syndrome. Empathy. Empathy. One of our struggles is how not to let empathy strangle us. Now suddenly you're probably shuddering and thinking, oh my gosh, they've always got to be empathic. Well, yes, there's a certain acknowledgement. This is difficult. I understand. There are always going to be weak people there. There are always going to be people that are struggling, and I understand. But this deferring to this empathy denominator gets one nowhere. It just advances progress under the illusion of happy togetherness. You can see I just did it. So often we will defer to people who are struggling and who are in bad shape, and all of that is important. But our goal is to advance adaptivity and resourcefulness. And just like the book age, dare I say, some people will end up in the cage, and you cannot hold their pose. Now that takes a lot of courage, because people are going to call you nasty and cruel. And people are going to say you're very, very selfish. So empathy and attention to weakness, I sort of combine those two. And the last thing is, as soon as we see something sabotaged, our immediate reaction is to stop the sabotage. Well, frankly, sabotage is success. Now you're looking at me thinking, how is that possible? What it means is that when people are trying to sabotage you, you are actually making some progress. You are actually holding up the reality that they're really, really struggling. So ironically, sabotage is not something to be squelched. It is something that you need to outlive. You need to hold steady. As soon as there's the threat of sabotage, it's amazing what we give up. Our principles, how many people here, they wander around and we make them reps, and all of a sudden they're in Washington. And it's amazing the change of tune. Very different. Okay, thanks, Storm. Okay. Okay, courage. The courage has been the undertow of all of this. I'm sure you can all see this takes great courage. People do not want you to be an individual, even though America claims to be the biggest group of individuals. Well, I've never known such a groupie bunch of individuals in my life. Individuation. People resist. Why are you different? You get the idea, right? Scapegoating. A willingness to be exposed and vulnerable, and not to take it